Hi guys, I'm back with my patch of violets again on a lovely spring evening to give you your second contour drawing tutorial. Today we'll be working with graphite pencil and we're going to add a little bit of color using a selection of colored pencils. So I'm here with my 9x12 multimedia sketchbook. And as you can see, I've got a variety of tools today. I've got a 2B pencil for a good basic line. I've got a selection of colored pencils, a few different greens, a burnt sienna to get some earthy neutral tones in, and I've got a red, a bright warm red to get some complementary tones into my shadows, a yellow in case I need to heat up these greens a little. And then I've got a small selection of blues and a violet, which I think might be nice for some of my shadow tones and also for some of the tones of the whites. And I've also got my handy dandy eraser pen, which is a very good tool to have when you're working with erasable drawing materials. Okay, let's get started. So here is my graphite pencil sketch in progress, just of the small patch of grass in my yard. You can see for this drawing I've begun with a very simple contour line, just as we worked for the pen drawing, and following the same observed contour method, beginning with one outline, an outline of a blade of grass, following it to an outline that intersects it, and on to another outline and another, and taking these outlines, these contours, into the interior of a form as well to wrap around and describe this little fruit roll-up bud, for example, or the long curve of a blade of grass intersected by another, and in that way finding your way visually through the composition. It can be very helpful even dealing with small, simple subject matter like this. When you're following that observed contour, take a look at the shapes of your negative space. That's just the empty space that surrounds your shapes. You can try to duplicate the shape of that negative space as you're paying attention to the shape of that outline, that contour. Just working with that slow, smooth, continuous line. Remember, with observed contour, your eye and your tool both move slowly. And you want to be sure that you're only drawing what your eye is looking at in that moment. So here, my graphite study, up here, I've begun adding a little bit of color using colored pencils. Now, colored pencils are a wonderful transparent coloring tool. That means they lend themselves very well to layering. So you see here I have some undertoning on these blades of grass in red. Red is the complementary color of green. So this will give them some depth and some shadow, a range of values, and also a little bit more opacity when I build them up with my top layers of color, my more representational greens. So you see, when you're toning with colored pencil, you can start with a very light, soft stroke, building up the pressure a little bit. If you want a deeper, darker tone. And here I'm just stroking sidelong with my pencil. Up here at the top, I can use my green to sharpen that tip just a little. Layer a little bit more heavily over the red. So this blade of grass will read as green, but you will still perceive that nice deep red underdrawing. Kind of making that form pop. And that's how I've built up most of these forms in the colored portion of the drawing. Except in the blossoms, I've just used a little bit of sky blue and a little violet, toned in very softly and gently, and then blended down with this handy tool. This is called a colorless blender. It's a colored pencil with no pigment in the tip. Very good tool to have for colored pencil drawing. So there you have it, guys, beginning with a soft observed contour sketch. You can feel free to leave it there, or you can tone in using graphite pencil alone, or you can build out into fuller color. Remember, for that you'll need a range of greens, reds, yellows, browns, purples, earth tones to layer up to get those beautiful tonal effects.